All right, hello everybody. Today is March 25th, and we are holding our regularly scheduled meeting. You will see three of us, Commissioner Conway, Commissioner Trumbold, and myself here today. Commissioner Dieters and Commissioner Friedman were quite willing and able to come. We are social distancing, limiting the number of folks that we have in the office, and unless necessary, that we will not have 5 commissioners here. But we thank them for their ongoing assistance behind the scenes. So the first order of business would be to approve actually 5 sets of minutes from the previous few meetings, March 11, March 12, March 13, March 17, and March 20. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as prepared?
Move all 5.
Second for all 5.
Second for all 5.
Any comments or discussion on any one of the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the minutes are approved. We move to the substantive portion of the agenda, starting with item number 1.
Due to the declaration of a state of emergency, the Commission directs that the completion deadlines for all grade crossing improvement projects should be suspended for the duration of the emergency or as otherwise ordered by the Commission.
Motion for approval.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 1 is complete, and we're going to take the next 2 cases together, item 2 and 3.
In these 2 cases, the Commission approves the results of auctions to supply generation for Duke Energy Ohio's PIP customers and Ohio Power's standard service offer customers.
Motion for approval on both?
So moved. Both.
Second on both.
Second on both.
Any discussion on either?
Nope.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 2 and 3 are done. Item number 4, please.
In this finding order, the Commission approves Ohio Power's application to adjust its basic transmission cost recovery rider.
Motion for approval, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 4 is complete. Number 5, please.
In this interim rehearing, the Commission grants Office of Consumer Counsel's application for rehearing for the limited purpose of further consideration of the issues raised in the application for rehearing.
Motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 5 is complete. Number 6.
In this finding order, the Commission approved Duke's application for authority to select Utility Gas and Power as the natural gas supplier for customers in its PIP program.
Motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 6 is complete, and that completes the substantive portion of our agenda. Our next scheduled meeting will be Wednesday, April 8th. We may need to take action on other items prior to that, and if we do, we will notify folks. And that will be at 1:30. The General Assembly is in the process of modifying what we call our open meetings law, and may provide us with some incremental flexibility to be able to meet virtually using technology. So you may see our meeting in a bit of a different form. It still will be webcast. It will be accessible by the public under any circumstances. So watch for that, and I expect the General Assembly may complete that activity yet today. So any additional comments for the staff or commissioners? I've got a couple of things I just want to mention of that may be of generic use.
No, thank you.
We are dealing with a health emergency. There have been times during my work in this area where we've had energy emergencies, either a lack of energy or very high prices. We do not have that problem presently. If you look at propane prices or natural gas prices or electric prices or oil or gasoline prices, they are all trending down in part as a result of the depressed demand, but those are fundamental things. Those things are working in favor of our economy presently and will continue to work in favor of our economy. So despite the health emergency and the understandable stress and anxiety that it's created, there are fundamental reasons to believe that the supply of energy will be adequate and that prices, generally speaking, will remain reasonable. I also want to highlight something that most people may not be aware of, and that is that our system of government places responsibility for economic regulation in the hands of the federal government when it comes to some services. We approved a rider today for AEP involving transmission service. That service is subject to the exclusive jurisdiction of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. We function to reflect or pass through costs that have been authorized by that agency and have the responsibility to do so both from a statutory perspective and constitutional perspective. So there are things that we can do in that area, and as my fellow commissioners know, we have reached out to both the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission and PJM, which is the Electric Regional Transmission Organization, to try to initiate a discussion about things that we may be able to do to mitigate cash flow or other problems that are created by the structure or level of prices that are regulated by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. And we hope to be able to continue or engage in those discussions in the days ahead. We are keenly aware of customers' concerns about their ability to make timely payment of the utility bills. Regardless of what we do in the disconnection area or reconnection of service area, our system places responsibility for bill payment on customers. So if we defer the obligation to pay for a period of time, or you as a customer elect to not pay your bill at a time, it's reasonable to expect that the arrearage or the non-payment will be your responsibility going forward. We are working here. The utilities all have payment plans. If you have concerns about your ability to pay, please reach out to the utilities. They are more than willing to talk to customers about sensible arrangements to spread out the obligation to pay. But that is the place where you start in this process. We have a responsibility to make sure that those plans are reasonable and sensible in light of current circumstances, and we will just charge that responsibility in the public interest. We also have limited jurisdiction with regard to those utilities serving retail customers. We do not regulate co-ops. Those are utilities that are owned by customers themselves. We do not regulate municipal utilities. So the things that we can do are limited in terms of the type of supplier that you may have. In some cases, you have arranged to receive service from a competitive supplier. We have limited jurisdiction over the price and structure of that price when it comes to competitive suppliers as well. That is largely governed by the contracts that you have signed, and if you're concerned about your payment obligation to those types of suppliers, you should be looking at the contracts and examining those contracts to see what kind of flexibility, and again, also reaching out to those suppliers to see what they might be able to do to help you work through a period of time when you may be having difficulty paying your bills. We cannot and will not think about these issues in a silo. We will think about them in the context of what is going on generally in our economy as a result of the health emergency, and continue to proactively work with utilities and customers, stakeholders of all stripes to sort through these issues and come up with sensible solutions. There is a tendency sometimes on the part of stakeholders to come to the Commission because the Commission regulates entities, utilities with broad revenue collection capabilities, and attempt to solve a problem that is not related to energy or not related to utilities through the resources that are available here at the Commission, through the authority that the Commission might otherwise exercise. My experience is that the effort to deal with non-utility, non-energy related problems through utility rates is typically very crude in terms of its ability to target the problem, to get after the root cause of the problem, and also very expensive because of the layers that you have to go through in order to problem solve. And that is why you're seeing government stepping up at this point in time to provide economic assistance, direct infusion of cash in some cases to the folks, the customers, employees, and businesses who are challenged by the consequences of the health emergency and the slowdown, shutdown of businesses and the loss of jobs associated with that. So I hope people will keep that in mind as they invite us to be as useful as we can be, as they present proposals to us to help deal with this circumstance. And we will do the best we can in order to add value to the citizens of the state of Ohio through the jurisdiction that we do exercise. So thanks very much, and we'll see you. Anything else from Commissioner Trumbull or Conway?
No,
thank
well
you.
said.
Thank you, sir. That's it for today. We'll see you next time. Adios.